Welcome to Review Central's Mathematics Proficiency Reviewer Drills, featuring drill questions on business math. Mathematics proficiency is a typical subtest in many exams, including most scholastic admission and scholarship qualifying tests, some professional licensure and certification exams, and even some employment pre-qualifiers. If you are eyeing or are set to take any of these tests, then this reviewer is intended for you. There are 23 carefully curated questions featured on this reviewer. All questions are modeled on actual questions that appeared on various mathematics proficiency subtests, most notably from college entrance tests in the Philippines such as the UPCAT, DCAT, ACET, and USTET. Before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to Review Central and click or press the bell button to make sure you get notified whenever we post a new reviewer or other review materials on this channel. Let's begin. Drill question number 1. The chart below shows the monthly profits of 3 companies. What is the total profit generated by Store X and Store Z in the month of March? A. 120,000. B. 140,000. C. 160,000. D. 180,000. E. 200,000. The correct answer is D. 180,000. This is basic and simple chart reading. From the chart, we can see that Store X had 80,000 in profits and Store 2 had 100,000 in profits. Combining these two, we arrive at 180 in profits. Note that questions like this typically appear in the reading comprehension section of exams, although from time to time they can and do appear in the mathematics or numerical proficiency section. Drill question number 2. A company's profits increased by 12% from 2010 to 2011. And by 18% from 2011 to 2012. By what percent did the company's profits increase from 2010 to 2012? A. 30%. B. 32%. C. 37%. D. 41%. E. 54%. The correct answer is B. 32%. Let X be the company's starting profit, or profit prior to 2010 to 2011. The company's profits increased by 12% from 2010 to 2011. This should translate to 1.12x from our starting profit, X, and the then company's profits increased by 18% from 2011 to 2012. We can express this as 1.18 times the previous year's profit, which was 1.12x. This should result to 1.32x. Therefore, the profit increased by 32% from 2010 to 2012. Drill question number 3. An investor earned an interest of 31,250 pesos from her investment in the local cooperative's lending program over the last 5 years. If the investment pays 2.5% simple interest annually, how much did she put in the lending program? A. 100,000 pesos. B. 150,000 pesos. C. 250,000 pesos. D. 350,000 pesos. E. 400,000 pesos. The correct answer is C. 250,000 pesos. Step 1. Recall your formula for simple interest, wherein interest earned, I, equals the principal or amount invested, P, times the interest rate, R, times the time, T, in years, that the amount is invested. Step 2. Let's substitute the given values into our simple interest formula, as shown. Step 3. We can see that only P remains, which is what we are looking for. So we simply solve for P from here, and should quickly arrive at 250,000. That's how much the investor put in the lending program. Drill question number 4. What is the final price of a $3,000 jewelry after successive discounts of 40% and 30%? A. $900. B. $1,100. C. $1,260. D. $1,740. E. $2,100. The correct answer is C. $1,260. The problem calls for successive application of discounts, so let's do just that. Let P0 be the original price of $3,000. Step 1. Apply the first discount and find the price after. The first discount is 40%, so we need to multiply P0 by 0.6. The price after the first discount, P1, should be $1,800. Step 2. Apply the second discount on the price after the first discount. P2 equals P1 times 0.7, since the second discount is 30%. The final answer should be $1,260. That's the price of the jewelry after successive application of the discounts. Drill question number 5. Mr. Marvel borrowed 280,000 peso to buy materials for his computer shop. He repaid the simple interest loan after 4 years. He paid interest of 61,600 pesos. What was the interest rate? A. 7%. B. 6.5%. C. 5.5%. D. 5%. E. 4.5%. The correct answer is C. 5.5%. Step 1. Recall your formula for simple interest, wherein interest earned, I, equals the principal or amount invested, P, times the interest rate, R, times the time, T, in years the amount is invested. Step 2. Substitute the given values into the formula. The only remaining unknown variable should be R, the interest rate which we are looking for. Step 3. Solve for R. We should quickly arrive at R equals 5.5%. Drill question number 6. Find the time, in years, wherein the sum of money will be quadrupled if it is invested at 20% simple interest rate. A. 5 years. B. 7.5 years. C. 10 years. D. 12.5 years. E. 15 years. The correct answer is E. 15 years. First, recall our formula for computing for the future value of invested capital or principal using simple interest. The formula is, future value, F, equals principal or invested capital, P, times the quantity 1 plus the interest rate, R, times time, T, in years. Next, it is stated in the problem that the money will quadruple. Therefore, the future value is 4 times the invested capital or principal. We can express this in equation form as F equals 4P. Now we simply substitute the F value from step 2 into the future value formula in step 1. Our resulting equation will have T as its remaining variable. Since we are in fact looking for T, we simply solve for T. We should quickly arrive at T equals 15 years. This is the amount of time it will take for the invested money to quadruple. Drill question number 7. Dexter invested 6,000 pesos in an account that earns 8% per year simple interest. How much should he invest in another account that earns 12% per year simple interest so that his yearly income in the two accounts are the same? A. 2,750 pesos. B. 3,000 pesos. C. 3,600 pesos. D. 4,000 pesos. E. 4,800 pesos. The correct answer is D. 4,000 pesos. Recall your formula for simple interest. I equals PRT. Where I denotes the simple interest earned. P denotes the principal or amount invested. R denotes the interest rate. And T denotes the time, in years, for the investment to earn interest. For this problem we are only calculating the interest earned for 1 year, so T equals 1. When the interest rate is 12%, the simple interest earned is equal to 0.12p. Let's label this as A. When the interest rate is 8%, the simple interest earned is equal to 480. Let's label this as B. As stated in the problem, the yearly income from the two investments are the same. Therefore, A equals B. From the resulting equation, we should be able to quickly compute for P to be 4,000 pesos. This is how much Dexter should invest in the account that earns 12% per year. Drill question number 8. Using Banker's rule, find the ordinary time, in years, of a loan made on June 10, 2022 and due on September 23, 2022. A. 104 over 360. B. 105 over 360. C. 105 over 365. D. 106 over 360. E. 106 over 365. The correct answer is B. 105 over 360. The Banker's rule is another type of simple interest that is similar to ordinary simple interest. It is based on a 360-day year, but we use the actual number of days in the term when calculating interest. In the given problem, we are looking for the actual time, T, in years. We calculate T as the actual number of days over 360. To find the actual number of days, let's count and tabulate the number of days from June 10th to September 23rd. From the table we establish the actual number of days to be 105. Therefore, the actual time is 105 over 360. Drill question number 9. Miss Waldy, an OFW, invested a portion of $7,200 at a 4% annual interest, and the remainder at a 5% annual interest. If the annual interest from both investments is the same, what is the total interest from the two investments? A. $160. B. $320. C. $2,600. D. $3,200. E. $4,000. The correct answer is B. $320. Step 1. Let's identify and list down the given data for each of the two investments mentioned in the problem. Let P1 and P2 be the first and second investments, respectively. R1, which is 4%, and R2, which is 5%, are the interest rates, and T1 and T2 are the applicable time periods, which are both equal to 1 since we are looking for their annual interests. Step 2. Using our simple interest formula, I equals PRT, let's express in equation form how the two investments are related to each other. It is expressly given in the problem that the annual interests of both investments are the same. Therefore, I1 is equal to I2. Expanding both sides, and substituting the given values for both investments, we should eventually end up with P1 equals $4,000, as shown. Step 3. With P1 now known, we can easily compute for I1. For our final step, we find the total interest earned, which is what is being asked of us in this particular problem. To get the total interest earned, we simply add I1 and I2, or multiply either of them by 2 since they are equal anyway, and get $320 as our final answer. Drill question number 10. Andrew earns 120 pesos per hour on a 40-hour work week. His hourly wage increased to 160 pesos for additional hours beyond the usual 40 hours. This week, he worked for a total of 48 hours. How much did he earn this week? A. 5,760 pesos. B. 6,080 pesos. C. 7,040 pesos. D. 7,680 pesos. E. 8,060 pesos. The correct answer is B. 6,080 pesos. This is a wage problem. There are no formulas to use and memorize here. We just need to do a careful analysis of the information provided and apply our basic algebra. Do not overthink. First step is to find the additional hours worked for the week. We should quickly find this to be 8 hours. And then we go ahead and compute for the total earnings for the week, which is the sum of Andrew's regular weekly earnings and his additional earnings from the additional hours worked. To compute for the earnings, we simply multiply the applicable hourly rate with the hours worked. We do it first for the regular hours worked, and then for the additional hours worked, as shown. We'll arrive at 6,080 pesos as the correct and final answer. Quick and easy. Drill question number 11. When Mr. DeJoss notices that his car's gas tank is 1/8 full, he immediately goes to the refilling station and has the tank filled with gasoline until 3/4 full. If he paid 1,800.00 pesos for the gasoline, how much more does Mr. DeJoss have to pay to make the tank full? A. 500 pesos. B. 640 pesos. C. 720 pesos. D. 1,080 pesos. E. 2,880 pesos. The correct answer is C. 720 pesos. Money-related worded problems like this abound in many math proficiency exams. But most of them, just like this one, are nothing more than worded problems requiring the simple application of basic algebra. Again, don't overthink it. The first step is to establish the amount of gasoline filled and the amount paid. The amount of gasoline filled is the new gasoline level after filling minus the gasoline level right before filling. That's 3/4 less 1/8, which is equal to 5/8 of the tank's capacity. For this, Mr. DeJoss paid 1,800 pesos as stated. Next, we'll need to find the cost of a full tank. Let X be the cost of a full tank. Since 5/8 of a full tank costs 1,800 pesos, we can write an equation to express this in terms of the cost of the full tank, as follows. 5/8 times X is equal to 1,800. From here we can compute for x and should arrive at 2,880. Therefore, Mr. DeJoss's full tank costs 2,880 at the current price of gasoline. The final step is to compute how much more Mr. DeJoss would have to pay if he decides to get a full tank. His car's gas tank is currently 3/4 full. Therefore, it needs another 1/4 for the tank to be full. The cost of 1/4 tank of gasoline should be x over 4. Therefore, Mr. DeJoss will have to pay 720 pesos more if he wants his car's gas tank to be full. Drill question number 12. A portion of $6,000 was invested at 6% per year simple interest, and the remainder at 8% per year simple interest. After 1 year, the total interest was equal to $450. How much was invested at the 8% investment? A. $1,800. B. $1,500. C. $2,800. D. $4,500. E. $4,800. The correct answer is D. $4,500. There are 2 investments made and we are asked to find the amount invested in one of them. Let's start by listing down all the given information. There are 2 investments with 2 different interest rates. Let's designate the first interest rate as R1. R1 equals 6%. The second interest rate is R2. R2 is 8%. Both investments are over a period of 1 year, so T1 and T2 are both equal to 1. Let's designate the amount invested at 6% and 8% interest as P1 and P2, respectively. Next, we know that both investments equal to $6,000. Therefore, P1 plus P2 equals $6,000. And from here, we can express P2 in terms of P1. That is, P2 equals $6,000 minus P1. Let's label this as equation 1. Now let's find the interest earned for each of the investments. Both use simple interest, so we are going to use our simple interest formula, I equals PRT. Let's designate the first interest earned as I1. After plugging in the given values for the first investment, we should end up with I1 equals 0.06 times P1. Let's label this as equation 2. We also plug in the given values for the second investment, substituting equation 1 to express P2 in terms of P1. We'll end up with I2 equals $480 minus 0.08 times P1. Let's label this as equation 3. But we know that the total interest earned is equal to $450. Therefore, I1 plus I2 equals $450. Let's label this as equation 4. Substituting equations 2 and 3 into equation 4, we'll come up with an equation that will allow us to compute for the value of P1. We'll arrive at P1 equals $1,500. For our final step, let's substitute our computed P1 value into equation 1, to get P2. We should find P2 to be $4,500, which is the amount invested with the 8% interest. Drill question number 13. When a man invested a certain amount at simple annual interest rate, the interest after 1 year is equal to 32 pesos. When the amount invested is increased by 200 pesos while the rate is decreased by 0.5%, the interest after 1 year is equal to 35 pesos. Find the original rate. A. 2%. B. 3%. C. 4%. D. 4.5%. E. 5%. The correct answer is C. 4%. Step 1. Using the formula for simple interest and plugging in the given values for the original investment, we'll come up with 32 equals the original principal, P1, times the original interest rate, R1. Let's label this as equation 1. Take note that R1 is what we are looking for. Step 2. For now, let us express R1 as x%. Substituting x% into equation 1, we should end up with P1x equals 3,200. Let's label this as equation 2. The same equation can be expressed as P1 equals 3,200 over x. Let's label this as equation 3. Step 3. Let's move on to the second investment. The second investment also uses simple interest, so just like in step 1, let's use the simple interest formula and plug in the given values. We know that the original investment increased by 200, so P2 should be equal to P1 plus 200. The original rate is decreased by 0.5%, so R2 should be the quantity x minus 0.5% over 100. Step 4. Substitute P1x value from equation 2 into equation 4. We should come up with the equation as shown, which we will label as equation 5. Step 5. substitute P1 value from equation 3 into equation 5. From here we should end up with a quadratic equation in terms of x, as shown. Step 6. Let's proceed to factor our resulting quadratic equation. We should come up with x plus 2 and x minus 4 as the factors. Step 7. Let's equate the first factor to 0 and solve for x. We'll end up with x equals minus 2. This cannot be a solution since the resulting value of x is a negative number. Let's try the second factor. Step 8. So let's equate the second factor to 0 and solve for x. We'll end up with x equals 4. This is a valid solution. Therefore, the original rate is 4%. Drill question number 14. The formula to calculate the future value of the annuity at the end of the investment is as shown. Where FV is the future value of the annuity stream to be paid in the future. R is the amount of each annuity payment. And I is the interest rate per period. Which of the following is the formula for the amount of each annuity payment?
A. R is equal to the quantity I times FV minus 1, over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n. B. R is equal to I times FV over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n. C. R is equal to I times FV over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n, minus 1. D. R is equal to I times FV over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n, plus 1. E. R is equal to the quantity I times FV plus 1, over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n.
The correct answer is D. The formula for the amount of each annuity payment is R is equal to I times FV over the quantity 1 plus I raised to n, minus 1. The solution to this problem is actually a lot easier than it seems. Although the given formula is one that is used in business finance, the problem itself can be simply solved using basic algebra. To arrive at the formula for R, we simply express the given future value formula in terms of R. With a few steps of algebraic transpositions, we should quickly arrive at the formula for the amount of each annuity payment, R. Drill question number 15. Mrs. Smith loaned $100,000 from a known loan company. She promised to pay the loan for 9 months. If it has an interest rate of 20% per year compounded quarterly, how much will Mrs. Smith need to pay? A. $115,752.50. B. $115,757. C. $115,760.75. D. $115,762. E. $115,762.50. The correct answer is E. $115,762.50. Step 1. Recall the formula for the future value of an investment using compound interest, as shown. Take note that you may have seen or remembered this formula in its simpler form, that is, without the m variable. This is basically the same formula with what you remember. This is the general formula, where the variable m denotes the frequency that the interest is compounded each year. If the interest is compounded yearly, then m is simply equal to 1, and the resulting formula now looks the same as what you remember, correct? Step 2. We simply substitute all given values into the formula. We should quickly realize that only the variable f remains unknown, which is exactly what we are looking for. Step 3. Let's solve for f. This should be quite straightforward, and we should quickly arrive at the final answer of $115,762.50. That is how much Mrs. Smith will need to pay for the loan she took. Drill question number 16. If you deposit 5,000 pesos into an account paying 8% annual interest compounded quarterly, how long until there is 5,306.04 pesos in the account? A. 3 months. B. 6 months. C. 9 months. D. 1 year. E. 1 year and 3 months. The correct answer is C. 9 months. Step 1. Recall the formula for the future value of an investment using compound interest, as shown. This is the same formula we used in an earlier drill question involving compounded interest, remember? Step 2. We simply substitute all given values into the formula. We should quickly realize that only the variable t remains unknown, which is exactly what we are looking for. Step 3. So we solve for t. Take note that this requires some adroit algebraic manipulations, so pay careful attention now. At some point we should arrive at the equation, 1.061208 equals 1.02 raised to 4t. It is always a bit cumbersome to solve equations where the unknown variable is in the exponent. This is where we need to dig a bit deeper into our algebra skills. As it turns out, the seemingly random decimal number, 1.061208, is actually equal to 1.02 raised to 3. Come on, try it on your calculator to verify that this is indeed the case. So our working equation now reads as 1.02 raised to 3 is equal to 1.02 raised to 4t. Notice how the base numbers now look identical? Since our left and right terms now have the same bases, we can cancel out the bases and what remains of our equation is now simply 3 equals 4t. Hence, t equals 3 over 4 year, or 9 months. Drill question number 17. The repayment of loan principal over time is known as A. Amortization, B. Annuity, C. Effective rate, D. Future value, E. Sinking fund. The correct answer is A. Amortization. Not all questions on math proficiency exams require computations. From time to time, questions such as this do appear, and they require just our knowledge of basic concepts that we learned from junior and senior high school mathematics, including but not limited to business math. Let's give a short definition of the business math terminologies given in the answer choices. Sinking fund is a type of fund created and set up purposely for repaying debt. Sinking funds are traditionally used by businesses to set money aside each month to pay off a debt or a bond. Using a sinking fund means the company won't have to pay as much out of pocket when the debt is due. Future value is the value of a current asset at some point in the future based on assumed growth rate. The future value is important to investors and financial planners, as they use it to estimate how much an investment made today will be worth in the future. Knowing the future value enables investors to make sound investment decisions based on their anticipated needs. However, take note that external economic factors, such as inflation, can adversely affect the future value of the asset by eroding its value. Effective rate is the real return on a savings account or any interest-paying investment when the effects of compounding over time are taken into account. Annuity refers to the equal payments at regular intervals usually, but not necessarily, yearly. A typical example of an annuity is a contract between an insured person and an insurance company that requires the insurer to make payments to the insured, either immediately or in the future. Amortization is the equal payments form of an annuity whose present value is the original principal of the loan. Take note that part of each payment goes toward the loan principal, and part goes toward interest. As the loan amortizes, the amount going toward principal starts out small, and gradually grows larger on each succeeding payment. Drill question number 18. A lending institution offers two investments at the same rate, one at simple annual interest and the other at compound annual interest. If a man invests 1,000 pesos for 2 years, the investment in the compound interest earns 2 pesos and 50 centavos more than the investment in the simple interest. How much would the man have if he invests 1,000 pesos in simple interest for 7 years? A. 1,200 pesos. B. 1,250 pesos. C. 1,280 pesos. D. 1,300 pesos. E. 1,350 pesos. The correct answer is E. 1,350 pesos. Let's start by listing down all the given information. Let the investment with compound interest be the first investment, and the investment with simple interest be the second investment. Both investments are offered with the same interest rate, so let's just label them both as R. However, the interest rate itself is not given, so we will need to solve for it. The man invests the same amount on both investments, so let's just label them both as P, which is equal to 1,000. Both investment have the same period of 2 years. The investment with compound interest earns 2.50 more than the investment with simple interest, therefore we can express and relate their future values to each other, as follows. Future value with compound interest equals future value with simple interest plus 2.50. Substituting the given values, we will eventually end up with R squared as the only remaining variable, which is equal to 2.5 over 1,000. Now let's solve for R. If we multiply the right side by 10 over 10, we are not really changing its value since 10 over 10 is just 1. However, doing so will transform the right side to 25 over 10,000. Now both numerator and denominator are perfect squares. Getting the square root of both sides, We'll have R equals square root of 25 over square root of 10,000, which can be simplified to 5 over 100. 5 over 100 is of course 0.05 in decimal, or 5%. Now that we know the interest rate, we can now proceed to find out how much the man would have if he invests 1,000 pesos in simple interest for 7 years. Using the future value formula using simple interest, we should quickly arrive at the correct answer, which is 1,350 pesos. Drill question number 19. Mr. Harada invested 1,000 pesos in an account that paid 12% per year simple interest. At the same time, he also invested an equal amount in an account that paid 10% per year compounded annually. After 3 years, how much more interest would he have gotten from the simple interest account? A. 25 pesos. B. 29 pesos. C. 31 pesos. D. 35 pesos. E. 50 pesos. The correct answer is B. His simple interest investment at 12% would have earned 29 pesos more than his compounded interest investment at 10%. Step 1. Let's find the interest earned from Mr. Harada's first investment using simple interest. By now you should know the simple interest formula very well, so we'll skip the details and proceed to computing it right away. We'll arrive at a simple interest earned equal to 360 pesos. Step 2. Next is for us to compute the interest earned from Mr. Harada's second investment using compounded interest. We haven't really presented the compound interest formula per se, but we've used the future value formula using compounding interest quite a lot already in the preceding drill questions. The compound interest formula is simply interest earned, I, equals the future value, F, minus the principal, P. Substituting the given values for the second investment, we should arrive at interest earned equals 331. Step 3. What remains is simply for us to find the difference between the interests earned from the two investments. We should quickly arrive at 29 pesos as the correct answer. Drill question number 20. Paulo Delgado invested some of his money in a commercial bank that pays R% compounded quarterly. After 2 months, he got back thrice as much as his original investment. Find the value of R.
A. R equals 4 times the quantity, 3 times square root of 3 minus 1. B. R equals 4 times the quantity, 3 times the 24th root of 3 minus 1. C. R equals 40 times the quantity, 3 times square root of 3 minus 1. D. R equals 40 times the quantity, 3 times the 24th root of 3 minus 1. E. R equals 400 times the quantity, 3 times square root of 3 minus 1. The correct answer is E. R equals 400 times the quantity, 3 times square root of 3 minus 1.
Step 1. Recall our formula to compute for the future value of an investment using compound interest. You should have memorized this by now, right? Step 2. Substitute the given values. We should end up with the following equation. Step 3. We simplify the equation further by raising both sides to the power of 3 over 2. We do this in order to eliminate the exponent 2 over 3 on the right side of the equation. We then express the left side as square root of 3 raised to 3, which can be further simplified to 3 times square root of 3. Step 4. We can now solve for R. Subtract 1 from both sides, and then multiply both sides by 400, and we arrive at 400 times the quantity, 3 times square root of 3 minus 1, just like the one in answer choice E. Drill question number 21. An annuity of $25,000 is paid every quarter for 10 years with the first payment made 2 years from now. What is the period of deferral if this annuity is an ordinary deferred annuity? A. 1.5 years. B. 1.75 years. C. 2 years. D. 2.25 years. E. 2.5 years. The correct answer is B. 1.75 years. This problem also does not require any formula or tedious computations. It just needs a careful analysis of the given question. If the annuity is paid every quarter with the first payment made 2 years from now, then it means that the ordinary annuity term starts 1 year and 3 quarters, or 1.75 years from now, that is, 1 payment interval before the first periodic payment. Therefore, the period of deferral is 1.75 years. Drill question number 22. The daily profit, P, of a certain oil refinery in Baton is given by P equals 24x minus 0.06 times x squared, where is the number of barrels of oil refined? How many barrels of oil will give maximum profit? A. 200 barrels. B. 600 barrels. C. 800 barrels. D. 1,200 barrels. E. 2,400 barrels. The correct answer is A. 200 barrels. Step 1. Let's rewrite the given equation. P equals 24x minus 0.06 x squared as P equals minus 0.06 x squared plus 24x, to follow the standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Step 2. We can now determine that a equals minus 0.06, b equals 24, and c equals 0. Step 3. Recall from geometry that the given equation is that of a parabola. Since we are looking for the maximum profit, we need to find the highest point of the parabola. Again, recall from geometry that the highest, or lowest, point in a parabola is called the vertex, and we can find it by using the formula, h equals minus the quantity b over 2a. Step 4. We plug in the values of a and b into the vertex formula. We'll arrive at 200 barrels as the answer. But how can we be sure that indeed, 200 barrels of oil will give the oil refinery maximum profit? One quick way to do it is to plot the x value on a table and compare it with lower and higher values of x. We made such a table for you as shown. On this table we compared the resulting profits from 198, 199, 200, 201, and 202 barrels of oil. As you can see, indeed, 200 barrels resulted in maximum profit. Drill question number 23. A precious stone worth 270,000 pesos accidentally fell and broke into 3 pieces. The weights of the 3 pieces are in the ratio 3:5:7. The value of the stone varies directly to the cube of its weight. Find the loss in the value caused by the breakage. A. 230,400 pesos. B. 39,600 pesos. C. 8,181.75 pesos. C. 210,000 pesos. E. 261,818.25 pesos. The correct answer is A. 230,400 pesos. Let x be the weight of the stone. Since the weights of the 3 broken pieces are in the ratio 3:5:7, we can then express the total weight, W, as 3x plus 5x plus 7x is equal to 15x. The value of the stone varies directly to the cube of its weight. We can therefore express the value of the whole stone, P whole, as equal to k times W cubed, where k is the value of the stone per unit of weight. Let's label this as equation 1. The value of the whole stone is given as 270,000 pesos and we have expressed the total weight as 15x. Let's plug in these values to equation 1. We'll arrive at k times x cubed is equal to 80. Let's label this as equation 2. For the broken pieces, we can express their total value, P3 pieces, as k times 3x cubed, plus k times 5x cubed, plus k times 7x cubed. We then expand the cubes and proceed to factor out kx cubed. We should end up with 495 kx cubed. Next, we can replace the value of kx cubed from equation 2, which is 80, and arrive at 39,600 as the total value of the broken pieces. Finally, we can now compute for the loss in value caused by the breakage, by subtracting the total value of the 3 broken pieces from the value of the whole stone. To wrap up our mathematics proficiency drill on business math, let's summarize the concepts and formulas we have used to answer the preceding business math problems. 1. Chart reading is a basic business math skill. You should be able to read and interpret line graphs, bar charts, pie charts, and so on. Although not frequently, questions involving chart reading, and sometimes problem solving based on charts, appear in math proficiency tests. 2. Many business math problems involve percentages, decimal numbers, and fractions, such as in calculating profits, discounts, and so on. Be sure to build up your skills in using percentages, decimal numbers, and fractions. 3. More than half of business math problems are about interest earned and future value of investments. You should be too familiar with them by now, but make sure you don't forget these formulas. 4. Annuity refers to the equal payments at regular intervals usually, but not necessarily, yearly. Amortization is the equal payments form of an annuity whose present value is the original principal of the loan. And 5. Some geometry concepts have practical applications in business math, such as in using the formula to locate the vertex of a parabola to find the maximum profit in a production environment. If you wish to learn more about business math, you may check out some links that we have included in the description below. You have just watched Review Central's Mathematics Proficiency Reviewer Drills, featuring drill questions on business math. By now you should be ready to take on any mathematics proficiency test featuring business math. The drill questions we featured in this particular episode have been carefully curated to present to you as many of the typical business math questions that appear on mathematics exams. If you wish to watch more Mathematics Proficiency Reviewer Drills, check out our Mathematics Proficiency Reviewer Drills playlist. Check out also our other reviewer drill playlists for other topics. If you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to subscribe to Review Central, and click or press the bell button to make sure you get notified whenever we post a new reviewer or other review materials on this channel. Please like if you find this video useful and feel free to share to anyone who may also benefit from it. We wish you all the best on your forthcoming exam.